How you doing today? This is Keith with another fantastic Star Trek review. This is my first foray into the review of Star Trek feature films. I'm reviewing Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan today. Today I've got with me a special guest reviewer. His name is Mr. Howard Tuttleman. Say hello, Howard.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, and I'm very glad that you had me on your show as your first guest.
I'm very glad to have you here, Howard.
I actually brought you a present.
You brought me a present, hey?
I did.
What is this present?
Well, given the nature of your show, it's about science fiction. I brought you your own broadcaster.
Oh, you brought me a broadcaster,
And
eh?
you can turn it on and make funny voices and stuff.
Okay. Sure.
I figured it would go well with the
I put
subject
this on my
matter.
head, I guess. Alright. Oh, does this go down anymore?
Doesn't matter.
Alright. Well, here I am.
Now it's a real vlog.
Now it's a real vlog, eh? Well, here we go. There. Am I broadcasting now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me all right out there in
Yeah.
internet land? All right. So today, like I said, I'm reviewing Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And first off, I want to say that I'm giving this movie a warp review rating of 9.5. It's an almost perfect Star Trek feature film. Actually, it's probably the best of the series. I'm going to review it a little bit here today. The film starts off with the Enterprise crew in the Kobayashi Maru scenario. I'm sure you're familiar with the Kobayashi Maru.
Yeah, it was that was a part in the movie.
It was a part in the movie.
I think it had to do with that the Chinese guy.
Sulu?
No, Kobayashi.
Oh, well, I mean, the Kobayashi Maru is the name of a fictional ship entrapped in a no-win scenario, and it's a test that all command training cadets must face. Basically, it illustrates the point of a no-win situation that all commanders must face in the line of duty. You know, the movie starts off with Mr. Savick leading her voyage into the Klingon neutral zone, and she must rescue survivors. She ends up losing her crew, including Spock and McCoy. Of course, it's all in fancy. What did you think about this scenario, Mr. Tuttleman?
It was action. There were some. I think it ended with an explosion. Like every good science fiction movie, it should end with an explosion.
It does, and that's a good way to start off the film. Of course, this part of the film.
No, it ended the film with an explosion.
Well,
it started off with the Chinese guy and the Kobe.
But it's the beginning of the movie. That's the start of the movie. I mean, you remember the movie after that?
You know what I thought the saddest part of the whole movie was? It was the part at the very end when the gremlin died. He died in the behind the glass.
Well, he's not a gremlin. He's a Vulcan.
No, he had.
Yeah, that's.
He had these.
Right. Vulcans have pointed ears.
Gremlins have pointed ears too.
Yeah, but they're not the same thing. See, Vulcans are from the planet Vulcan. He's not even really a full Vulcan. He's really only half Vulcan. He's actually half
Did you
human.
hear that?
Half human, like me or you, actually. His mother was Amanda Grayson, who we, naturally we don't find out her full name until the animated series, which actually came out before this movie, but it's not canon until the animated series. Amanda Grayson is her full name. She gave birth to Spock, who is the son of Sarek. She married him, who apparently is not his first wife. It's either his first or third, or maybe the other, because apparently Sarek had another son named Sybok, which we find out later in Star Trek V. And how are you doing, Howard?
I'm okay.
Alright, so anyway, all of this ties into the fact that Spock is half human, which means he has emotion, which is really demonstrated in this movie. In fact, I mean, they kind of touch upon it in the very first movie when he conjoins with V'ger. He does the mind meld. He really develops his emotional side, and it really fulfills itself in this movie when he ends up sacrificing himself at the end of the movie for the betterment of his ship and crew. he did what was best.
I don't think it's picking you up good.
Although,
It's better.
all right, thank you. Even though logically, I mean, it was the logical thing to do, but you got to admit it had some emotional instincts involved. I mean, would a shipman sheerly do it on logic alone?
No.
So, I mean, not only are we dealing with Spock's dual humanity as it is in this movie, but we're also dealing with Kirk in the finding out that he has a son in this movie. His son comes from Carol Marcus, which is a character we've never heard of before. But I mean, it really goes to emphasize what the producers were trying to do with this movie, with demonstrating how the crew, and in particular Kirk, they're feeling older in a sense. You know, this is not their...
Excuse me.
Yes?
No, go on.
Oh, this is no longer the 5-year mission anymore. You know, this is their, if you will, their second time around. I mean, yeah, they're all older now. You know, Kirk wears eyeglasses. He has a son now. You know, and Spock is coming to grips with what it means to be a human in his later life. I mean, it all really ties together as a franchise.
You said he was not a human or a gremlin.
He is half human. He's not a gremlin though. It's a Vulcan. Vulcan is the preferred term. Yeah, exactly. They have the ears, which is characteristic of Vulcans. So it all ties in together. Thank you.
You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you. What are your views? I mean, you saw the movie. I mean, what do you?
Well, Phil, my favorite part of the I like the spaceship.
Mm-hmm. The
little rocket ship that was flying around the planets.
The Enterprise. Kirk ship.
The spaceship.
Well, I mean, there was 2 focus points.
I did like, and also, I liked an idea, but I thought I had it first with my Captain E. Teal, is they had a spaceship without a steering wheel. I came up with that idea at least a year ago.
Well, I mean, Star Trek debuted in 1966, and they had.
But don't they time travel?
They do time travel in that show. I believe the first instance being in the episode The Naked Time. Of course, they traveled back in time. They didn't travel. Well, actually, they traveled back in time 3 days.
Maybe they have spoils.
Maybe they have what?
Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, they've had a console control throughout the original series.
Oh, for a little debate I wanted to go on.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the movie from the very first picture of the mountain with the stars all the way to the very, very end. And you know what it said at the very end?
What was it?
That the movie was completely fictional. And you're talking about it like it really happened.
It is a work of fiction. Star Trek is.
It said any of the characters were just representations. I think the whole thing was a recreation of what you think you saw.
Well, any similarities to persons living or dead is purely coincidental. Which I'd find it hard to believe that you'd find persons living or dead that would.
So you agree with me?
It is not real. That is true.
So we agree, Phil.
It's Keith, but yeah, we are in agreement that Star Trek is a fictional reality, which depicts the crew of the Enterprise exploring strange new worlds, and this is one of their feature films.
I think he wants us to. He's doing hand motions, and I think he wants you to.
He wants me to wrap it up here. Is that what you're saying? Well, I mean, I'll end this with I mean, Star Trek 2. It's obviously, I mean, world-renowned, the best of the Star Trek movies. I mean, everyone should check it out. I mean, I know Howard liked it, didn't you, Howard?
I loved it, especially the spaceship.
Would you say it was the best Star Trek feature film, Howard?
It was the best episode I ever saw.
Well, it was an episode, but I mean, I bet you can say it's probably the best episode or movie you've ever seen of Star Trek. Is that correct?
The second best.
The second best?
Because it was episode 2.
Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. Everybody check it out. Warp 9.5.